avoiding arrest. Secondly, what we've put on the table is that an alternative shaft was made open where more than 500 illegal miners have been able to exit underground. And we knew that these illegal miners are refusing to exit on that particular shaft because they are avoiding arrest. It is possible for them to exit through Margaret because we have seen in the past 2 weeks more than 500 exiting. We have proof to that effect actually on Saturday, if you can see here. We have proof that they are not trapped, because if they were trapped, they would have indicated. This is a note that was coming from underground, and if I can read it, it says, "Sicela ukudla lapha emgodini, food please." If these illegal miners were trapped, they would have indicated in this particular note that they brought up with I think it's the rope that they utilize to bring up food and water. They would have indicated that they were trapped. But be that as it may, we are continuing as directed by the minister with the rescue plan. Yesterday, the rescue experts met. They've indicated that they will be starting with a rescue mission. We know that because of the risk as well, they will be putting a camera down there to assess first. No one can just go down there. They have to assess if it is indeed safe for emergency service to to underground. So in a nutshell, as the SAPS, our operations continue, and we stand static at all these disused and abandoned mining shafts. Our mandate is one, and that is why Operation Valom was established. It's to prevent, combat, and investigate criminality. And we are still of the view that what is happening underground is pure criminality. It's illegal. And anyone who resurfaces, like we have indicated, will be assessed by medical personnel. Will be those that are in good health will be immediately processed, detained. Those that require further medical care will then be transported to local hospitals, as has been the case in the past 2 weeks. Even this week, some of the illegal miners that resurfaced, 2 of them were assessed, taken to hospital. Those that did not require medical care were immediately processed, detained, and appeared in court.
Brigadier, we know that you're going to be opposing the application come Thursday once they've had a chance to look at that. And we know that the interim measures are only in place pending the finalisation of this matter. Should those interim measures fall away because perhaps you've been successful in your opposition because you're stating that none of these constitutional rights are at risk, then what is the position or the stance of government in dealing with the remainder that will probably still be left underground should those measures fall away if you're successful in opposing this particular bill?
Look, we will respect any decision that is reached by the court. We will be guided by the court on a way forward. But as things stand, remember the minister directed that the team comes up with a plan. So where we are now is that an assessment is currently being conducted. That assessment will inform the operational plan. That particular plan will be presented before the ministers, and then the ministers will then brief accordingly. They will provide a way forward. But as of now, our operations continue. The court order that was issued on Saturday does not in any way prevent us from implementing our constitutional mandate. So we are there. 7 provinces that are affected by illegal mining. We are continuing to prevent, combat, and investigate criminality linked to illicit mining activities. And once again, I do say that Operation Valom has registered commendable progress. More than 15,000 arrested since December. Thousands of explosives actually have been seized and confiscated. More than 369 high caliber firearms. And part of the reason why we won't allow police officers and SANDF members or any other person to go down there is that firstly, we have indicated that we do have that report, and we have consulted at length with the mine owners and the DMRE, who indicated that there are hazardous gases down there. The ground may be unstable, given the fact that according to DMRE, this particular shaft was rehabilitated, it was closed. It was these particular illegal miners open with explosives. So there is that high risk for loss of life. And the loss of life is the basis of why we actually implemented this particular strategy, because we are concerned, and that is why we have been calling for all these illegal miners to resurface. And that's where we'll leave it, colleagues.
I just wanted to ask about the was made by some of the miners that they wanted some medications, more especially ARVs. How far are you as police on that engagement? Has that been responded to by yourselves? Are you doing anything about it?
Look, I cannot comment on that. Our mandate as SABC is clear, is to prevent and combat and investigate crime. Medication things, please engage with the Department of Health. Our mandate is very clear. We don't enter those aspects. Yeah.
Brigadier Zoleka Kotashe from the SABC. If you are able to tell us in what ways is government effecting the order that was given by Judge Noikisha on Saturday?
Okay. We have always been of the view and that we have never been in violation of the order that was issued. We have been in compliance with that particular order, because firstly, the court order talks to unblocking of the shafts and not blocking the illegal miners' exit and the emergency medical personnel and so on. So we've always maintained that our presence there is to prevent and combat criminality, and that is why you would have seen police officers standing static at all these abandoned and disused mining shafts. There is no blockage. There's never been a blockage. We have never prevented any illegal miners from exiting. So in that, we have not been in violation of that court order. The third element of the emergency services is that this is a multidisciplinary operation. You would have seen all these illegal miners as they resurface. The ambulances are there, the emergency medical personnel are there to assess all of them. Those that require further medical care are then taken to local clinics, other hospitals around the area, and those that are in good health are then processed and arrested.
You've spoken about the importance of also including the mine owner and that it hasn't been included in the report. Why is this relevant to you?
Look, at this stage, issues of mine owner, that's the issue of the DMRE. Like I've indicated, our mandate is very clear. It's about crime. It's about preventing criminality. So I'm not going to get into those issues. You can pose that particular question to the Department of Minerals, Resources and Energy. They'll be better positioned to talk on the issues of the mine owner. Ours now is to ensure that we continue with our operations, but that the directive of the minister is adhered to, for the team to continue with the assessment, to develop a plan that will get those illegal miners out there.
All right, and we understand that the DMR representative is here to speak to us. Is that possible?
That's our legal representative.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, colleagues. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That was Brigadier Mata there, just wrapping up for us, Ayanda. Following the court appearance, what you've seen happen today is that the matter has had to stand down until Thursday at 10 a.m. This is because the respondents, that is DMR, as well as SABC, have filed their affidavit opposing this bid by the Society for the Protection of Our Constitution. This means that the applicant needs some time to consider the arguments that are being advanced by the respondents. Of course, they're telling the courts that the situation has changed since the interim order was made, and that these particular suspected zamazamas are not trapped. That is what they've told the court, and they've stated that they have created an exit for them to make their way out, and none of those fundamental rights that are afforded in Chapter 2 of the Constitution have been infringed on, as they are providing that humanitarian aid in the form of medication, food, water and other supplies. So we'll return to court on Thursday at 10 a.m. Of course, those interim measures as we speak right now, I understand, still stand. Those protections are still there for the suspected zamazamas. Of course, when we return on Thursday, we will then see the matter fully adjudicated, and then we can come up with, or rather the courts can come up with a determination on a way forward. But for now, it's over to you in studio.
Kenny, if you're able to hear me, it was interesting to see Athlinda Mate there showing journalists a note which they believe is proof that, in fact, the miners aren't being prevented from coming to the top. All right, it seems Kenny Mapanga not able to hear us, but that's certainly part of what happened there as we are listening to Athlenda Mate, the police spokesperson, who, amongst other things, mentioned that they'll respect any decision taken by the court. It was also very interesting to get information which I think hasn't been shared with the public before. Athlenda Mate telling us that that shaft in Stilfontein was actually closed, and according to their own intelligence, it was reopened by the illegal miners who used explosives. So I think that certainly also changes the dynamic insofar as how people read the situation as it unfolds in Stilfontein. We've also got our Itumuleng Khachane, of course, still stationed for us there. As far as he's concerned, that operation by residents is set to continue today. But police really doubling down on their approach. They're adamant that illicit trade is taking place there, and they'll do what they can within the ambit of the law, I suppose, in order to ensure that it stops. So we'll continue watching that story for you, at least that leg of it, of that story, back in court, as Kenny mentioned on Thursday.